Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Allah reminds us to practice what we preach. In the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 44, He says, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. He says, do you command people to do good and you forget to do it yourselves while you're reciting the book? Don't you have any sense? Right? And Allah mentions this specifically to the children of Israel. Right? He was telling them that, you know what? There was a group of people amongst them that they would go and they would be telling other people, you should do this, you should do this, this is what Allah wants you to do. But then they have no intention at all of doing it themselves. And that's hypocrisy. That's the definition of hypocrisy. So this is something that we need to be very careful about. We need to make sure that we check our intentions first of all. Every time we're trying to teach someone something, we're trying to explain something to them, we're trying to tell them, oh look, the Quran says this, or look, the Prophet, peace be upon him, he said this. And you're telling them that, you have to also make sure that you have the intention of doing that too, because otherwise you're going to fall into this category. And Allah knows that there's been people like that before, and He knows that there's going to be people like this. So He's saying, learn a lesson. Don't end up becoming like these people. And that also comes back down to our intentions behind learning things. Sometimes you find people, they will actually go and they'll attend a lecture, or they'll watch a video, or they'll read a book just so that they can go and argue with other people. So I want to go and I want to learn this so I can go and tell someone else. Well, first of all, make sure your intention is to learn for yourself first. Go make sure that whatever you learn, it's so that you can implement in your own lives. You should not just be learning things to go and argue with other people or something like that. That should not be the purpose behind increasing in your knowledge. And the other problem is that it's easy to call out other people when they do something. It's very hard to call yourself out. So it's almost like there's a statement where it says you can see the little tiny speck on someone else's shirt and you can't see the giant stain on your own. Right? And this is the problem with people, is that they could be like, you know, that person, oh, they gossip so much, they're backbiting and they're doing this. And what are you doing? You're doing the exact same thing at the moment you're criticizing them for. Exactly what you're criticizing that person for, you're doing the same thing. You go and you tell them, hey, you know, you should be good to your children. Wait a minute, but you're not very good to your own children. What are you talking about? Say, you know, you should be eating healthier. You really need to go on a diet. And then you look at yourself and you're like, oh me? Yeah, I have some excuse for it. So Allah is telling us, don't be like those people, because that's a level of hypocrisy. Not only is it not going to help the person, because if you give advice to someone and you want them to follow your good advice, one of the best ways is to actually live that advice yourself. Then they're more likely to follow it. If you go and give them some good advice, some good teaching, and they see you not following it, they're actually going to be more repulsed. They're going to be turning more away from it. So you're not actually helping them. Maybe you're even harming them by giving them the advice that you think you're going to be helping them with. And at the end of the day, you're going to be harming yourself. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among the people who practice what we preach. Ameen.